On one hand, a remake can bring attention to a classic story and revitalize interest in its world and characters, especially if they respect the source material and improve on the former. Like, for example, John Carpenter's The Thing. However, certain films are just perfect the way they are, a complete capsule of its time and social climate that had the right cast of actors who brought these iconic characters to life, that anyone else stepping into these shoes would pale in comparison. These remakes just serve to tarnish the legacy that those films worked so hard to establish. And most of the time, it's just a studio cash grab to bank on a popular title. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 remakes nobody asked for. Number 1. The Naked Gun. The Naked Gun originally started out as a short-lived TV series in the early 80s called Police Squad from comedy genius David Zucker. In 1988, Zucker would resurrect the franchise on the big screen, with Leslie Nielsen reprising his role as Lieutenant Frank Draben. The fast and funny slapstick circus would go on to be a major success, garnering critical acclaim and earning a whopping $152 million worldwide on a $12 million budget. It would also go on to have 2 sequels. The 2025 version of The Naked Gun would be helmed by SNL writer alum Akiva Schaffer, known primarily for his digital shorts. The Naked Gun won't be his directorial debut, as his filmography includes the narratively whack but hilarious Hot Rod, as well as the acclaimed pop star Never Stopping. The updated story comes from the mind of Seth MacFarlane, creator of Fox's irreverent TV show Family Guy. While the show is hit and miss, MacFarlane is a funny man. Fans did do a double take when they found out that Liam Neeson would be taking over Leslie Nielsen's part as Lieutenant Frank Draben. A somewhat baffling move. Neeson has worked with MacFarlane before, and he can do comedy. But he's also getting pretty old and a bit slow these days. However, people forget Leslie Nielsen was a dramatic actor first, before he became a legendary comedic actor. So I guess we'll find out more. The real question is, with most of the fans of the original films have already hit retirement age, is there even an audience for this film anymore? It may or may not turn out to be good, but I predict it will end up just being lost amongst the endless line of streaming fodder many studios dump on audiences on the regular. Number 2. How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon was originally a series of popular children's books before it was adapted into a gorgeous, epic, and heartfelt film series. It also became one of DreamWorks Animation's flagship franchises, joining the likes of Kung Fu Panda and Shrek. Maybe no one asked for a live-action remake, but this has potential to be great. Audiences would probably be more into a How to Train Your Dragon live-action remake if the film series was just a little bit older and Disney hadn't soured our interest in live-action adaptations. If you're thinking, I'm hoping this gets canceled, you're out of luck. Principal photography has already wrapped, and the studio has the film set for a July 2025 release date. If it helps, the remake is written and directed by Dean DeBlois, who also wrote and directed the original animated series. Number 3. Clue. Another adaptation of Clue could honestly go either way. The right people behind it, particularly someone who is known for subversion, the art of misdirection, and has experience with whodunits like writer-director Rian Johnson of the acclaimed Knives Out series, might be perfectly suited to take on this project. The showrunners of the hit comedy mystery TV series, The After Party on Apple TV, would also be an excellent choice for a Clue film. That being said, the best thing Sony, who has the rights to Clue, can do might be to distance themselves from the 1985 original. It's such a cult classic with a beloved, stellar cast. It can remain its own thing. Filmmakers, more so studios, seem to forget that cult films, or even just popular ones, achieve that status through elements of the film that are not replicable. Film requires heart and soul, not focus groups and studio notes for maximizing potential profits. Number 4, Z. Perhaps I was the wrong person to submit write-ups for this list. Zorro is another adaptation that has many incarnations, and it's been long enough since the last one where it's okay if studios make another one. The new incarnation, entitled Z, looks like it has potential to be pretty good. The award-worthy cast includes Gael Garcia Bernal, who's most notable for acclaimed Mexican films Amores Perros and Y Tu Mamá También. He more recently did the voice of Hector in 2017's Best Animated Feature, Coco. Z would also be directed by Jonas Cuarón, who co-wrote the 2013 sci-fi masterpiece, Gravity. If you're like, hey, what are you playing at? Stop selling me another Zorro film. Stop it. Okay, fine. I'll stop. Z will not feature Antonio Banderas as Zorro, and that does suck as he was one of the better actors for this character. However, Zorro just dwindled out. He became irrelevant in anything and really didn't belong to any of our more current universes. Sure, Zorro always fought for something, almost a vigilante of sorts, but never really branched out beyond that. The character development became stagnant and the storyline overplayed. So here's to hoping that studios can revitalize Zorro in a way that makes him more lovable and admired. We'll just have to wait and see. Number 5, The Wolfman. The Wolfman could use an update, but then again, no one asked for it. Universal Studios attempted a remake in 2010 of The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro as the Wolfman, but potential was squandered. The film turned out to be more of a generic creature feature, which The Wolfman is not. The 1941 black and white classic film was groundbreaking in its makeup effects achievements, and lead Lon Chaney gave us a memorable performance that endures to this day. The mood and atmosphere in the original were pitch-perfect balances of eerie and somber. The film's exploration of the duality of man was also well crafted and intelligent. For a remake of The Wolfman to work, it has to be a psychological thriller from someone who understands the source material. Preferably, a filmmaker who can expand on themes and story while also bringing a unique perspective. Otherwise, the title should just be left alone. Number 6, Big Trouble in Little China. I'll probably receive more flack for this, but it wouldn't be too difficult to remake Big Trouble in Little China and ultimately make a better film than the original. However, I mentioned earlier that some films just have something that can't be replicated, and Big Trouble in Little China is one of those films. John Carpenter has a certain style and finesse when it comes to crafting his films. Between Kurt Russell's screen presence and the campy 80s charm, a remake isn't the best idea. This is one of those films that could lend itself to a sequel or something a new in-universe narrative. Although, rumor has it that the alleged remake in the works isn't a remake, but more of a sequel or soft reboot. That's a roundabout way to say that it's set in the same universe after the events of the original.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope that you're enjoying all of our content. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. If you want to support us even further, there are numerous ways. First, check out fatninja.shop, our very own merch store where we sell t-shirts, hoodies, hats, shoes, and more, featuring our logo and other designs. You can also join our Patreon, linked in the video description. Last but not least, we have officially launched the YouTube membership program. At only $4.99 a month, you'll get access to our monthly newsletter featuring reviews, previews, and exclusive behind-the-scenes information about our upcoming projects and videos. You also get a nifty little badge and special emojis that you can use during our upcoming live stream chats. And if you're a member of our Discord channel, you'll get access to a special role which gives you even better access to the Fat Ninja staff and the chance to enter a monthly prize drawing as well as a shout-out at the end of our videos. The prize drawings will only begin once we have reached our goal of 50 members. Finally, you'll also be gifted a special coupon code good for 20% off any item from our store. We appreciate each and every one of you and are incredibly thankful for your support. Each new subscriber and member helps us achieve our goals and keeps us motivated to create new content each week. Thanks again. Take care.
Number 7. Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp plays a drunken but lucky oaf Captain Jack Sparrow in the series about pirates and all the mysterious legends and lore surrounding the seven seas. When the franchise first started in 2003, audiences and critics alike fell in love with our wayward pirate, who has a few oddities to him, but nonetheless, the true heart of a pirate. He became an instant icon in pop culture, and Johnny Depp still makes visits to children's hospitals all over the world as Captain Sparrow to this day. After all the drama that came with Johnny vs. Amber Heard, he was unfortunately let go from the last film. Jerry Bruckheimer has made a statement saying that there's a planned reboot coming around, but there's still no concrete evidence on whether it's a hard reboot with all new characters or a soft reboot with similar characters. Most likely a full-out one, since it points to Jack being recast into a Jacqueline. Since 2019, the project has been worked on behind closed doors, so details are slim. Writers Craig Mazin and Todd Elliott are penning both scripts, with Bruckheimer saying Depp is welcome back to the project. However, Depp has yet to actually be approached about the film. I have to say, the originals were good, so I feel this is just another cash grab by Hollywood in order to attempt to bring the story further. No matter what, we'll be waiting some time to hear anything else about this film, but we'll let you know when we find out more. Hopefully, Disney can do right by a reboot, but only time will tell. Number 8. Harry Potter. The biggest problem with a Harry Potter reboot or new adaptation is largely the creator herself. Despite her franchise celebrating inclusivity, J.K. Rowling has been painfully anti-trans. Fans of the franchise have either distanced themselves from her or the series altogether. And with her active involvement with the reboot project for Max, that might hurt people's interest as well. Another Harry Potter adaptation is going to have a problem appealing to the brain-dead anti-woke bigots, as a black actor, Papa Asidu, has been cast as Severus Snape. I don't know how else to put this, but Harry Potter has always been woke, my dudes. Politics aside, rebooting Harry Potter after already doing a phenomenal job with adapting and casting it originally is tricky. It's been nearly 15 years since the Harry Potter film series ended its run, but it was a monumental cinematic achievement. It may be too soon for another adaptation. I'm disappointed that WB doesn't just continue with its Fantastic Beasts series. They didn't even wrap up or even simply use some of the many other stories within the universe to adapt to the big or small screen. The only element I'd be looking forward to with the new Harry Potter series adaptation is that filmmakers can cover subplots from the books that they were forced to drop in the films due to time constraints. Number 9. Escape from New York. Escape from New York is another Kurt Russell-led John Carpenter cult classic film from the 80s. The film takes place in a futuristic New York. And by future, I mean it takes place in 1997. New York is a giant prison and Russia and the US are at war. How bleak and unrealistic, she said sarcastically. Anyway, Escape from New York was popular enough that a sequel, Escape from LA, was made in the 90s, with Kurt Russell reprising his role. The film was met with lukewarm reception, but that didn't stop studios from trying to get a third off the ground. A remake for Escape from New York has been in development hell for nearly 2 decades and has had numerous directors in the talks to helm it. Most recently, Tyler Gillett and Matt Bettinelli Olphin were sought out to direct as they had just come off revitalizing the Scream franchise to critical and commercial success. Regardless, I wouldn't hold your breath on getting a remake to Escape from New York anytime soon, especially a theatrical release. The rights to the film were attained by 20th Century Fox in 2015, which is now 20th Century Studios since its Disney acquisition. An original film streaming on Hulu or Disney Plus is within the realm of possibilities. However, this is just speculation. No official source has confirmed this. Number 10. Scarface. Modern audiences might not know this, but Brian De Palma's 1983 Scarface is a remake of the 1932 film also entitled Scarface. The original was directed by legendary filmmaker Howard Hughes. Most might not know this either, but the 1932 film is widely regarded as a superior film. That being said, Brian De Palma gave us a new take on the classic that is iconic, largely thanks to Al Pacino's unforgettably unhinged performance. It's been over 40 years since the last Scarface, and yes, I'm going to say it again, I think we're due for an update. My caveat, however, is the studio should only do another remake of Scarface if it does for the 83 version what the 83 version did for the 32 version. Have I convinced you that maybe you'd like a remake now? Well, either way, it doesn't matter, because this remake was officially dead as of 2023. But never say never, right? Number 11, Halloween again. At this point, Halloween has got to be one of the most rebooted franchises in film history. John Carpenter originally conceived Halloween as an anthology series, in which some different horror tale happens in every subsequent Halloween installment. He allegedly got drunk and wrote the script for Halloween 2, even regretting making Laurie Strode Michael Myers' sister, as it puts a damper on Michael's mystique. Halloween 3 was the first and only sequel in the series that took the anthology approach, which was a sloppy film, and it killed any chance of an anthology series. Halloween 4 continued 10 years after number 2, acting as kind of a soft reboot with Laurie Strode out of the picture and her daughter Jamie Lloyd being the protagonist. Then in 1998, after Halloween's Cult of Thorns storyline ultimately failed, this series started over again, sort of, ignoring Halloween 3 as well as 4 through 6. In a post-Scream world, Halloween H2O was a commendable effort, bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back as well as several people who worked on Scream 1 and 2 to give the film an updated 90s slasher aesthetic. Unfortunately, H2O's sequel, Halloween Resurrection, ironically killed that timeline. Cut to 2007, where a complete overhaul took place for Halloween, with Rob Zombie's remake. Although undeniably brutal, it was panned by critics and snubbed by audiences. But it made enough money to greenlight a sequel, which managed to perform far worse with critics and lose money. Over a decade later, horror movie maven Jason Blum got the rights and produced one of the better sequels in the entire franchise with Halloween 2018, which ignored every previous Halloween film sans the original. Unfortunately, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends fell flat and saw increasingly diminishing returns. Although I will stand by my claim that Halloween Ends is still a better end than Halloween 6, Resurrection, and even H2. It still wasn't good though. Regardless, in 2027, we're looking at another reboot of Halloween. There isn't much information about it currently, but another Halloween was inevitable. Jamie Lee Curtis recently said she hasn't closed the door on another return to the franchise. I'll get flack for this, and I will preface this with that I think Jamie Lee Curtis is great, but she doesn't need to return to the franchise, and Laurie Strode was never compelling enough of a character to return as many times as she has. That being said, Jason Blum also said he would not be producing any more Halloween films, and the rights would return to Malik Akkad. Number 12, The Thing. The original The Thing from Another World graced the big screen in 1951 and was penned by one of the most versatile filmmakers of classic Hollywood cinema, Howard Hawks. Hawks helmed such classics as The Big Sleep, Rio Bravo, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and the 1932's Scarface. In The Thing from Another World, the original storyline involves a group of naval pilots who are summoned by scientists who discover a UFO in the Arctic. Inside is a creature frozen in ice, which they thaw out. The Thing from Another World would go on and earn its place as a staple of 50s sci-fi. Cut to 1982, where director John Carpenter's visionary remake takes practical gore effects as well as themes of isolation and paranoia to a whole new level. Carpenter's The Thing reflected Cold War themes of distrust, as the ensemble consists of Americans in the Arctic concerned about Russians. The particular creature in The Thing could also assume the form of any living creature, evoking Reagan-era level xenophobia and distrust. John Carpenter's The Thing, also considered a horror sci-fi classic along with a gold standard for remakes. A prequel was even attempted in 2011 with mixed results, mostly failing to live up to the 1982 version because of lackluster CGI and the lack of a truly compelling narrative. Studios have been tossing around the idea of a Thing remake, reboot, etc. for years. It may finally come to fruition as one is currently in development at Blumhouse, but nothing much has been officially revealed about the project. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. We're also now on Blue Sky. You can find us at studiosfat.bsky.social, which will also link below. If you're really enjoying our content and want to help support us, click that join button for exclusive content, rewards, and perks. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again. See you in the next one.